Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. In tonight's show, we stumbled upon something in the surveillance footage that was released, and apparently law enforcement has removed that surveillance footage that was really specific, telling, there was a screen that would say where it was located, etc., and I happened to screen grab that. But we were able to see some things that was very interesting. All right, so what we're going to do right here is we're going to go over some of that. All right, I'm just going to use the all the pieces of surveillance that I have put together like this. Now this part here I always thought was interesting, even the other day or yesterday when it came out. This person here appears to be sort of waiting for somebody, looking for somebody specific. Now, have we identified that specific person? Or is there somebody else that he's waiting for? I mean, he's there, I guess he got there at 10:30, but even without that, he's 2 o'clock. We start seeing him on the footage that's released, and then the shooting doesn't happen until 4:03, which is 2 hours and 3 minutes later. All right, now this is where we notice something that I think is extremely interesting. See, first I just noticed that he was over here and he turned around after noticing something. Watch. He sees something and then he goes, oh shoot, ooh, and then he starts running. Right? He starts running and he's going this direction. And then the video actually cuts off because I think it's motion activated. So it cuts off, and then what law enforcement did, if you look up above, it stops at 2:16:28, and they added 8 seconds of a still frame from 2:16:36 just to have the correct amount of time, etc. All right. Now, if you look back over here, let's rewind it a little bit. Now, see when he's standing right there? There's this person that walks right over here to the right. See right over here? So we're going to hit play. And then look at, that's the person he notices. He sees him and he goes, ooh, and then starts running. Right, and at 28, and right now we have 2:16 and 36 seconds. It's going to be about 8 seconds, and then this car right here will start moving, and then here he comes, and notice his hair is has a light spot on it. It's not the same person. And then watch this. Right over here, he starts running. Almost after the other person. There's no way that's just coincidence that he started running because he saw somebody, and then the other person runs after him. So is that the person he was waiting for, looking for, waiting for him to walk in the area? Or, I mean, what would make him run from him? And then what's interesting about that as well, if you go up in the air, let's take a look at Google Earth right here. This whole scene is taking place right here. Here's that brick driveway that you're seeing. There's actually 2 different cameras in here. There's one there and here. The one we're looking from, the camera footage from is right here in the back. And then there's one on the shed right there. So if you notice, there's this brick driveway. And then I think we can find other shot right there. That's the shot from the shed, shooting down the same brick driveway, and at that point he's walking the opposite direction. So from up here in that shot he's walking this direction, and then later we see him, let's just move it forward, we can get the time right in here. We're at 2:16 and 19 seconds when he's standing right there. And based on that, if you watch him again, there's this person walking by and he sees him because he's on the corner, and he starts running this direction. And then that person, after the 8 seconds of a still frame, will turn here. And he sees him down there, and he sees him that he's running, so he starts running too. Right there, watch. See, there he goes. He starts running after him. And then they make it around this corner here, or at least he does. So if we look at this, they both went around this corner and ran this direction. And then, so that's at 2:16:20, right? Let's go back to the previous one. So right here it's 216:28, and then 216:48 when the other guy's running by there. All right, and then we go all the way to here, so it's less than 2 minutes later, about 1.5 minutes later, we see the suspect walking down the street right there, but that other guy isn't following him. So I don't know if they handed something off with each other, or this guy just lost the other person. I have no idea, but I absolutely believe that they're connected, because one of them was like ran because they saw the person, and then the other one started running after him, and they are two different people 100%. So right here, we're looking at the video. So imagine this is where that red brick driveway was, and then they went around like this, and then a minute and a half later, he's walking right there, and then right after that, we have the footage from this building right here that has a camera on it that films him right there on the sidewalk. It's basically about like, kind of like this. All right, so let's take a look at that. It's right after this one. And then right now, it basically picks it up right in the correct location. Right here, there he is, walking. And let me zoom out so you can see the full body there. Rewind it. And there he is. Now, did he hand the guy something? Because it doesn't look like he's got the backpack or anything anymore. You know, the little satchel that he had. So it's interesting. So let's see. And then after that, he goes around the corner and he starts running again. Look at that. What is he doing? I mean, this is just absolutely unreal. So what he just did right there is he walked this direction and he ran. And then when he got all the way down here, this camera picks him up running. And it's all consecutive. So let's take a look at this just to verify. We've got the steps that go down, and then just look at the shapes of this. And let's go back to that surveillance. There it is. See? So these are the stairs. The camera must be just up to the upper left right there. If we were to look up here, there's probably a camera. Maybe that's one right there. Don't know, but that camera is filming. Yeah, possibly one of those too. Don't know. But it's filming right here, the steps, and him running by in that direction. And this is, again, back at the Rhode Island Historical Society building. So let's go back up in the air here. And so I guess what I want to know is, what do you guys think? I think they're absolutely 100% connected. I think that when he was looking around that other time, maybe he's waiting for this particular person. And I don't think they wanted to be seen open in an open area together. So maybe one of them ran, you know, the main suspect ran, and then they met up somewhere, like behind a car or something, and handed the other one something. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that they both started running. It seems like one of them was running from the other one. But why would he be doing that? That doesn't make any sense. So as you can see, the surveillance that we're looking at all go around in this 3-block area here. Now, maybe law enforcement has other surveillance out here. They just didn't want to share it. I think they should share every single bit of surveillance that they've got. And in fact, if I was them, I would ask every single person in this entire area over here, every single person that has surveillance, to let them collect it, check it themselves, but also let them collect it, and have it for a specific time frame, maybe from 10 in the morning on the 13th until maybe 6 o'clock at night, and let law enforcement go through it and map out every single location where the suspect was, and you might eventually end up leading back to the vehicle that he took to the crime. And that's the way to do it. You don't keep piecemealing it together. Oh, well, we got it over here, so if you guys could look at your cameras, just have everybody engaged and part of looking at their surveillance footage, not just a select few people in a certain area. It just seems, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. And what I would do is plot out every single person who sends you footage, plot it out on a map, And then as you're going through it and trying to track back, you pull up different people's footage and then start plotting it out as you go. It seems like it would be very simple to do. I just don't know why they're not doing something similar to that. All right, everybody, let me know what you think. I think that this right here is absolutely significant in the case. I think this guy right here, if you zoom in on him, I think he's connected. He's got a backpack on. It looks like he's got, with the way that looks, a really long beard on, you know, and looks like he's got pretty long legs. Looks taller for sure. He looks like he's maybe 6 foot something. And then way over here is the suspect, but he had seen him and he starts running. And I mean, it's just incredible. Like then this guy comes around the corner. Again, if you zoom in, you can see it's the same person. The timing all works. Comes around the corner. And then he must see the suspect in front of him. And so he starts running too, right past here. Now, who knows what's going on here? I'd love to hear what your guys' theories are. I think it's very significant, though. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's why the FBI or whoever it was took down the video from the Providence Police Department Facebook page or wherever it was originally hosted. All right, so thank you all very much for watching the video. Leave a comment in the comments section. Let me know what you think. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.